learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know about the forensic investigation of road accident, the type of physical evidence to be collected from the crime scene, the evaluation of procedure of vehicle and the victim. Introduction. The main purpose of whole forensic investigation of accident is to establish the cause of incident. The information obtained from it might be required for a number of following reasons. Number one can be investigate the case. Second, either the victim or their family member want to know how accident take place and also how they were injured or killed. Next point is police or regulatory authority might wish to fix responsibility and take appropriate action against the guilty. Next point is the safety of authority might always be looking forward for improvement to prevent a reoccurrence of accident.
Now, problem. In forensic investigation of road accident cases, it is necessary to establish the following. In this, the first point is that an accident has actually taken place. It may not be a subterfuge to conceal some other crime. Next point is the identity of the location where accident took place, particularly on highways. Next point, the identification of the vehicle in a hit and run case. Next point is to identify the driver in a case where the owner of the vehicle alleges theft. Now, the sources of physical evidences in the investigation of road accidents. In the investigation of road accidents involving vehicles, physical evidences play a very important role. Their nature therefore needs to be understood properly before physical evidences are collected. They should be carefully observed, located and thoroughly documented by means of making notes, sketches and photographs and then collected. Almost every type of clue, including trace evidence, can be found at the crime scene in accordance with the Locard's principle of mutual exchange, which states contact leaves traces in road accidents or hit and run cases. The major sources of the evidentiary materials are as follows. First is the crime scene. The following evidentiary material can be found at the crime scenes are the vehicle, maybe one or more, its type, direction and position. Next point is the trace marks like tire impressions of the four-wheeler which are found either at the sharp turns or where the vehicle has been reversed. Next point is the broken or damaged part of the vehicles. Next point is the greases and the lubricants of the particular vehicle. Next point is the glass pieces of various shapes and sizes. Next is the paint chips or smears. Next is the skid marks. Next, dust, dirt or other debris caked or otherwise fallen from the suspect vehicle at the time of impact. Next point is personal or vehicular articles left at the scene. Next point is the drag marks of the loaded materials, example logs of wood or any other item. Now, the vehicle. In most of the hit and run accident cases, the vehicle involved may carry traces from the scene of occurrence or from the other vehicle involved or the victim. Commonly, the following clues are found on the vehicle. First is the finger and palm prints, tool marks and fabric prints. Next point is the hair fibers, blood stains or skin pieces from the victim. Next is the small broken parts or fragments of the vehicle or the article hit. Next is the broken glass, paint, greases and lubricants from the vehicle which was hit and control samples from the suspected vehicles for similar articles to those left at the scene. Now the next point is the dust, mud and the dirt from the scene of occurrence from the victim or from the driver. Next point is the cigarette and beady butts from the vehicle. Next is the mechanical faults in the vehicle. Next point is the evidence related to chances. I repeat, evidences related to changes in paint and numbers on the registration plate, serial numbers on engine and chassis. Next point is evidences related with overloading of vehicle. Next is the load on a vehicle may leave characteristic smell on the way through which it has moved. Now the victim. In addition to dust, dirt, paint, glass pieces, greases and lubricants and tire marks which may be present on the clothes or on the body of the victim, the following important evidences can also be found at the scene. First, in the injuries. Second, blood, fibers, hair and skin for control samples. Third, alcohol and narcotics in the body if the victim had taken the same. Next point is the signs of disease from postmortem reports. Now, the collection of physical evidences. After carefully observing the suspected vehicle, scene of occurrence and the victim and understanding the possible cause of accident, it is required to collect the evidences at the earliest from the above sources with proper care and planning. The evidences may be lost in a very short time span. The suspect can get the vehicle repaired or repainted immediately after the commission of crime. The scene of occurrence would be tampered over by the traffic and the victim may be cremated or buried. In the systematic collection of the evidences, one should, the first point is, before the collection of the evidence, take photographs and make sketches of the scene at the earliest without disturbing anything from the place. Next is the photographs and sketches should be taken in such a way that the location of the accident scene can be fixed by including some of the prominent fixes, landmarks like milestone or hoardings, etc. Next is the photographs should also be taken in a way to show the identity of the vehicle, kind of vehicle, its number plate, etc. Next is before taking away the vehicle, note down the reading of speedometer, record the temperature of the vehicle, of the atmosphere and of the water in the radiator. Now the next point, ascertain the quantity of fuel in the vehicle, examine the whole area for any physical clues and collect any loose evidence which is likely to get lost in transit. Examine other parts of the machinery thoroughly. Now the next point is collect various evidences like skid marks, broken parts of machinery, blood stain, fibers, hairs and alcohol, glass, paint, soil including dust and debris, greases and lubricants, cigarette and beadies butts from different sites separately and whenever necessary collect control samples also. Now the next point is collected evidences should be documented with the help of notes and photographs and then packed properly in glass containers or cellophane envelopes depending upon the nature of the evidence. Now the evaluation of physical evidence. There is no single right way of evaluating any incident related to road accidents, but it should always be based on the logic and feasibility. In road accidents, proper plans, keen observations and good photographs enable the investigator to get a clear image of the scene and are an essential first step in the analysis of the accident. Proper planning and photographs provide very important information to understand what the witness are saying, the relationship between the marks, the person involved and the environment, the investigator to develop his/her own interpretation about the events and the source of data. The evidence of eyewitness needs to be reviewed carefully whether it can be dependable or not. The investigator needs to consider the following also: whether they are consistent with their statements, are there any areas of agreement, are there obvious explanations for disagreements in their viewpoints, is there any information which will be required for subsequent analysis, for example, the state of traffic signals, the directions and speed of the vehicles. Now, the vehicles. The condition of the vehicle or the vehicles involved in the accident is important for two reasons. First is the vehicle itself is a cause of the accident, and the second point is anything can be used to reduce the impact speed. Beside the above, special attention is also required to be given to the following aspects in thorough investigation of road accidents, like first is speed. Speed of the vehicle at the time of road accident can be one of the most important factors. It need to be determined because of two primary reasons. First, speed itself can cause the crash. An example of this is loss of control when concerning. Such accidents are usually caused by driving too fast or either or combination of the following reasons. Now, the first point is the ability of the driver, second, the performance of the vehicle, third is the condition of the road. This is apparent when the car leaves curved skid marks of a vehicle concerning at the limits of adhesion. The other principal reason for estimating the speed is to use it is as a factor in the analysis of the accident. The speed can be calculated by the following methods. First, from the length of skid marks. Second, from the radius of curved scuff marks. From the extent of vehicle damage. According to the research conducted by Monash University Accident Research Center MUARC, maximum 13.5% of accidents were caused by intoxicated drivers, followed by 11.8% by drivers falling asleep, and 3.2% of accidents were results of passengers' interactions. The detailed results have been shown in Table 1 and 2. Now, it is also evident from the data given in the Table 2 that between the year 1997 to 2011, less than 0.1% accidents were due to handheld mobile phone use. Now, the Table 1 shows the result of MURAC study conducted on 340 casualty accidents during 2000 to 2011. Percentage of other reasons of accidents is also given. In this, you can see 13.5% of accidents were due to intoxications, 11.8% fall asleep, 10.9% fatigued, 3.2% failed to look, 3.2% passenger interaction, 2.6% felt ill, 2.6% blacked out, 1.8% feeling stressed, 1.5% were due to look but failed to see, 1.4% because of animals or insects in vehicle, 0.9% were due to using of a mobile phone, 0.9% were due to changing CD, cassettes, radio, again 0.9% were due to adjusting vehicle system, now again 0.9% looking at vehicle system, and finally 0.3% due to searching for object. Now, Table 2 shows data of accidents occurs between 1997 and 2011. In this table, you can see the first block is of year, second block is of crashes for using a handheld telephone, and the third block out of total crashes. In year 1997, 16 crashes were due to the handheld telephone out of the total crashes of 50,120. In year 1998, 32 crashes were there out of the total 52,578. In year 1999, 51 crashes were there out of the total 52,866 crashes. In year 2000, 43 crashes were there out of the total 52,914 crashes. In year 2001, 50 crashes were there out of the total 51,814. In year 2002, 32 crashes were there out of the total 50,448. In year 2003, 23 crashes were there out of the total 49,266 crashes. Now, in year 2004, 30 crashes were there out of the total 43. I repeat, in 2004, 30 crashes were there out of the total 47,310 crashes. In year 2005, 20 crashes were there out of the total 45,554. In year 2006, 19 crashes were there out of the total 45,528 crashes. In 2007, 26 crashes were there out of the total 45,395. In 2008, 27 crashes were there out of the total 42,833. In 2009, 31 crashes were there out of the total 42,952. In 2010, 56 crashes were there out of the total 60,084. In 2011, 50 crashes were there out of the total 42,953. Now, skid marks. Skid marks are the marks left by the wheels which are no longer rotating. These marks are characteristic in appearance and caused due to the wheels sliding across the surface of the road. If all the vehicles of the vehicle have locked, then it is only the friction between the tires and the road surface that slows down the vehicle. Skid marks are short-lived types of evidences which are left at the scene and play important role in the successful reconstruction of a road safety incident. As a consequence, the most important variables which determine the distance a car takes to skid to halt are speed and the nature of the surface of the road. Thus, if the coefficient of the friction is mu between tires and the road surface can be measured, then a reliable estimate of the speed V can be calculated from the length of the tire marks L. If a car is skid to a halt from a known speed, then mu is equal to V square upon 2GL, where G represents the acceleration due to gravity, and then the speed of the car leaving the skid marks is given by V is equal to under root 2 mu GL. Now, the curved scuff marks. These marks are formed when concerning forces enable a vehicle to take a curved path. These are generated by frictions between the tires and the road surface, or when maximum speed exceeds, due to which the vehicle slips and leaves characteristic tire marks. These marks are curved and have a pattern of diagonal striations across them. As soon as vehicle starts to leave these scuff marks, the driver in most of the cases loses control of the vehicle. Now, the extent of vehicle damage. The damage to the vehicle is mostly directly proportional to the speed, which means the faster the vehicle is traveling when it hits something, the greater will be the damage. The extent of the damage to the vehicle of similar size in similar impacts is comparable and is perhaps rather more unexpected. This provides another useful tool for determining the speed of vehicle in road traffic accidents. Vehicle damage alone will not enable the exact speed of a car to be calculated, as the extent of the damage depends on the change in speed brought about by the collision. Now, the visibility. It is important that the driver of the vehicle and the pedestrian or the driver of the other vehicle must have eye contact with each other. What needs to be investigated during the evaluation is why eye contact couldn't be established. It may be due to certain obstacles, the height of the vehicle, the driving position, and even the height of the pedestrian. All of these factors can have a significant effect on visibility. Thus, while measuring visibility, the observer should have his or her eyes at the same height as the witness and should be in the same lateral position on the road. As far as possible, the target should be similar as possible to the actual target in the incident. After collision, the above mentioned physical evidences like fingerprints, glass, paint, soil, physiological fluids, hair, fibers, synthetic greases, lubricants, cigarettes, and BDs, etc., all of them need to be documented and evaluated individually and thoroughly. The most significant part of any investigation is the evaluation and interpretation of the information obtained. It should be tackled in a more systematic manner and ensure that the right, relevant, and complete information is obtained and nothing should be overlooked. Care must be taken not to exclude alternative believable explanations until sufficient information has been collected to justify ignoring them. Now, the conclusions. As information passes through the number of overlapping stages, information obtained from one stage may sometimes be re-evaluated, and corroborating one source of information with another can modify the direction of the investigation. But at the end of this process, the investigator should have a clear understanding of the incident and how it developed and be in a position to explain it in a clear and simple language. Now, the summary. The main purpose of whole forensic investigation of accidents is to establish the cause of the accident. In the investigation of road accidents involved vehicles, physical evidences play a very important role. Their nature therefore needs to be understood properly before they, which means physical evidences, are collected. In most of the hit and run or accident cases, the vehicles involved may carry traces from the scene of occurrence or from the other vehicle involved or the victim. Skid marks are the marks left by the wheels which are no longer rotating. These marks are characteristic in appearance and caused due to the wheels sliding across the surface of the road. Vehicle damage alone will not enable the exact speed of a car to be calculated, as the extent of the damage depends on the change in speed brought by the collision. Thank you.